Curious. I'm seeing images of planets, moons, stars, whole galaxies all stored here, recorded. It could be a representation of Vija's entire journey.
Is Vija the name of the captain of the alien vessel?
Vija is that which seeks the creator.
And who is the creator?
The creator is that which created Vija.
Who is Vija?
Vija is that which seeks the creator.
And who is the creator?
Creator is that which created Vija.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what side of the world you're in. I'm HalfLifeSistah, and this is my hubby Wolf Kane.
So everybody,
Welcome to my channel and to another episode of Sister and Wolf. What's poppin'?
we just did a What's Poppin'.
I know.
How could we be doing another What's Poppin'?
Oh, really?
As soon as we just post a
confused.
NIGHTWISH What's Poppin', already in the comments they're telling us there's another What's Poppin'. They just released another song. Ad Astra.
What are you even asking us?
To the Stars.
Ad Astra.
Ad
Wait a minute,
Astra.
that's a movie.
Well, that's a Brad Pitt movie, but that's a term, that's a Latin term that's been around since the Roman era. So,
I've never heard it before.
well, I mean, it's Latin. Why would you speak Latin?
I speak a little Latin.
But you've heard To the Stars,
Little
right?
Pig Latin. Yes.
Yeah, it translates to the stars. Yes. So it was, when Greek philosophers were talking about the stars, they were talking about the difficulty in reaching it, obviously, or probably back then the inability to ever reach them. But we've had smart people around for a very long time, though. People studying the stars and everything. But NIGHTWISH, Ad Astra, To the Stars, I can't even imagine. So we went from technology to Earth, and now we're going to the moon, baby.
We went to the greatest, from the greatest show on Earth to technology now.
Yeah, and so I'm going to take advantage of people's comments here because you guys are giving great comments, of course, and they are telling us that, of course, this is a concept album, sure, but it's also a continuation from the greatest show on Earth.
No way.
Yes, so seeing how
But
we
the
have
greatest show on Earth was how long ago?
2015, I think.
Okay, that's
Right?
so cool. Thank you.
Okay, and of course the first album with Floor on it, but again, it was when they really started hitting that secular stuff hard.
Gotcha.
And so, we've heard Greatest Show on Earth and we know what that's about. I like to think of Greatest Show on Earth as the ABC song of the Earth creation. Like, as long as you know the lyrics to Greatest Show on Earth, you can recite how the Earth was created. And just to continue with how great these comments are, Harvest, we pinned this comment if you missed it. I think this guy nails most of it. I want to give a shout out to Dean375 who made this comment about the lyrics. And now that I know
Thank you for that.
the lyrics of it, it makes the song that much better. If we
I
knew it at the
agree.
time, I think we would have both been bawling.
I know.
But, and again, I think he's spot on here. The song is about laughing and accepting death. We are humans. We are the harvest. So I was thinking harvest in the sense of agriculture and why we exist. But when he breaks down the lyrics, water the fields, meaning like you live your life to the fullest. You learn about nature and about life. You surrender to the earth and accept death as a part of life. So water the fields and surrender to the earth. So watering the fields with because when we die, and what's funny is when I was listening to the song, I couldn't get the circle of life out of my head for some reason. And I felt like I kept getting this circle of life, maybe, and I thought it was because of the Kumbaya thing, but maybe subconsciously I was hearing the lyrics a little bit because I kept thinking that, and I'm like, that is the circle of life. When we die, we return to the earth, we fertilize the earth, and from that life continues to spring. So from death comes life, and that's what they mean that's what they mean by surrender to the earth.
Yes.
But this was the beautiful part. Join the harvest of hundreds fields. So, and because when we do die, we are joining the billions that have died before us, and all those people have built to what we are today, and all of our ancestors is why we are here, right? Everything builds on itself and continues to build until no more, right? All going back to one single grain, as in we are all going back to one earth. Right?
Yes.
So we're all
We're all connected. That's what I feel.
Offer a light to the coming day, inspire a child. I liked what he said here. Do something good in your life before you die and inspire others. Right? So while you're alive, inspire a child.
Yes.
The quaternary code gave mankind a rose so we could see the beautiful die. The quaternary code is the DNA code for life. Face aglow before the Sith. Harvests and Siths are common things, but metaphorically we are the harvest and the Sith is death. Also at the end it says arrive alive. Now his interpretation was it means new life will come to the earth in the circle of life, but then someone added a comment later which I think actually is more spot on. This is what's great about these comments.
What's their name?
So shout out to Tarmo, T-A-R-M-O. You'll see his comment in the pinned one as well. He says that arrive alive, I'm thinking that it should mean you should live your life to the fullest, i.e. be alive before you face death. Arrive at the end of your life.
Oh,
and I thought that
my God, I have not seen that comment yet.
So think about it. At the end of the song it says arrive alive. So the whole entire song is about how you are here to feed the earth and nature lives off of us and we are the harvest, and you want to inspire the next generation before you get harvested, but you should not feel bad that you're going to die because you are part of this one single grain.
Oh.
But then at the end it says don't forget to arrive alive, meaning when you are ready to be harvested, when you are ready to pass, make sure that you did everything in your life. Make sure you lived that life. Arrive alive, so that I mean I can't say it any more beautifully than that.
It's so beautiful. Yes.
That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous.
Thank you for that.
So well done there. Well done.
Wow. You guys should have
gives the song a whole different.
Given us this before.
Gives it a whole different texture, whole different dimension. Very, very, very.
Thank you
nice.
for taking the time out to comment and make this.
Right. So let's get into this one.
Okay.
And see what the next step, the next chapter, the next journey Nightwish is taking us on. You know, we can debate all day long about whether or not we like this part of the sound or that part of the sound or whether they're changing or not. But I can say when it comes to the subject matter, I am loving the subject matter.
I am too.
This is my wheelhouse, man.
They are so raw. You ready to see the Matrix?
Let's do it. I think somebody said it was an instrumental. Oh shit.
Look again at that dot.
Carl Sagan.
That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering. Thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization. Every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam. That's here. That's home. That's us.
That's it?
Oh, that was a lot. I wasn't expecting that. The song was super cool, guys. By the way, I heard it. It's a super easy listen. That's all day long. That's dope. I got caught up in reading the words and stuff. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's a cool. That's like the end of the movie, end of a. Like if I was watching, I haven't seen Ad Astra with Brad Pitt. But that's how I imagine, like, remember the end of Gravity when she's entering the atmosphere and the music is playing? The music that's playing is giving me goosebumps just thinking about it as she's entering. It's one of the most emotional moments I've ever seen in cinema. And that's what this song, as it builds and it continues, it's like it's like the end of the movie. It's like the climax. That's what's happening. So I definitely was there, and that was tight as hell. That was super symphonic and super soundtracky with like movie soundtracky, which I love. I love movie soundtracks. But this was a PSA. I know you were enjoying the music, so you might have missed it.
No, I was reading. Yes, this is definitely a PSA.
Well, there's an organization that is trying to preserve the Earth, and they've partnered up with them, according to the video. So this was to raise awareness of. They were talking about the Mexican forests being logged, and I'm gonna have to do some Googling because they're saying Mexican forest. So I'm assuming obviously not the Amazon because Amazon is in South America. So I didn't realize there was something going on in the Mexican forests. So that's something, and again, that's why stuff like this is important because they're raising the PSA on that. So I'm gonna have to do some Googling and look into it and see what's going on there. I'm pretty familiar with logging. I saw a documentary not too long ago where I forget what country it was. What you've got these badass cops, not and I say cops, but I mean they're patrolling the forest looking for loggers and arresting them. And it was tragic because it was two of them were brothers, and one of his brothers got killed. The other one had to go into hiding. They got ambushed at one point by these loggers. And it's just tragic stuff, but there are these people who put their lives on these lines for forests like this, for preserving a nature, and that's just ballsy on a level that I could never imagine.
Love on a level that I can't imagine.
Yes. So,
wow.
That was some epic shit right there. Okay, so that was short.
It was short and felt.
But it hit me
very
right away.
Fact.
Did you recognize that beginning at all?
It felt like from The Greatest Show on Earth.
Okay, so
I could be wrong.
Who decided to stick around 2 hours after The Greatest Show of Earth to watch my credits? Because I put that Carl Sagan speech, which is an excerpt from his book, at the very end. But it was too what's his name? Analdi. That amazing composer, that backed with Carl Sagan's incredible soothing voice. So do you know Carl Sagan? Let me pull up a picture of him because he's like the Mr. Rogers of astronomy.
Is he the one that Neil deGrasse was talking about?
He's the one who inspired
the
Neil.
One that inspired.
Yes.
I remember him. Yeah.
Google him real quick. Put.
Am I typing it?
Yeah. Hold on. That's fine.
I remember.
Okay, so does he look familiar to you at all? This man?
No, he doesn't actually.
No? Because, I mean, it was before your time, I guess. I mean, he died, I think, in 96. When did he die?
Then how was that before my time?
Because you were not into astronomy. The only reason you're into
I'm not into it now.
I know, but the only reason you know anything about it now is because of me.
Because
I'm
and Whitney.
I'm so ridiculous about it. But it just... The reason I'm ridiculous about it is because it's such a... It's what grounds me and defines who I am. And that's what that speech just did. That pale blue dot. So if you...
Oh my God! Just that was
play the video again. Let's do because it's short. So I just want to show you some stuff as we're playing it.
In front, both.
Yeah. You can. Let's listen as well. Or you just want to hear me talk.
I just want to hear you talk.
Okay, in the background. And in the foreground. Okay. So that right there, that's Earth.
Yeah.
That little dot, that's
Yes,
Earth.
yes.
Pause it, or well, we can't really pause it, but stop it. It's fine. I can speak just on that. So, you know what Voyager is? The satellite Voyager.
Right.
Okay, it was shot out in I think '77, and Carl Sagan was on that mission. He was an imagist. He was an imagist on that mission. And since its launch, Carl wanted them to take a picture of Earth. Now, we've taken many pictures of Earth. We've got Voyager going out to study, I think, Mars and Saturn in '77, right? By 1980, it's already done doing that.
Okay.
It passes, so they decide to let it keep going. They decide...
To see how far we go?
Well, because we've never been outside of our solar system. We've never studied what's out in deep space, okay?
Right.
So we've decided to let Voyager continue going. So as it's going, so we're talking '77 when it was first launched. In '89, it's about to exit our solar system, okay? Carl Sagan, for the last 10 goddamn years...
Wait a second. He wasn't up there all that time.
Baby, it's a unmanned... It's
okay,
an
I'm sorry.
unmanned...
I'm sorry.
It's a satellite.
I'm sorry. I had a hit moment.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay,
It's a
okay.
satellite.
All
That's not a
right.
spaceship.
Okay.
You watch too many
And
science
this is not
fiction
a movie.
movies.
Okay.
Okay. So he's been wanting to take a picture of distant Earth for a long time because we've taken a lot of close-up images, right? And the flat earthers will say that that's all digital, that's all fake, none of that is real, because when you take images, you have to stitch them together, so they think that somehow means it's fake. Anyway, God damn it, I can't take it. That's the last I'm going to mention flat earthers because they drive me nuts. So anyway, 10 years, he's been wanting the Voyager they wanted to turn it around, face it Earth, and take a picture of it because he wanted to show what it looks like from a distance, right? And they wouldn't let him because they were afraid the sun was going to burn out the camera. Okay? So in '89, when it's just about to leave our solar system, he finally gets his wish. They feel like, at this point, what do we have to lose? They turn it around. They take that picture that you just saw. Literally the size of a pixel in a sunbeam. It's so well written and so well spoken. I don't know who spoke it here. I don't reckon that didn't sound like Floor to me. But it was one of the greatest speeches. And when I say speech, I mean it's an excerpt from the book that he read and he turned into a speech. One of the greatest speeches on humanity. That speech alone is all you need to make the world better. Has it made the world better? No, because people will always be so goddamn stupid. But that speech should have been all we needed to make the world a better place, because everything in that speech is it. Now, I don't know if you were, because I think this is, I know you might have heard it in my Nightwish reaction, but I don't think you've memorized the speech. I don't think you know what's actually in it.
With Dawkins?
No. Okay, so you're confusing Dawkins with Carl Sagan. Dawkins is still alive, and Dawkins was in The Greatest Show on Earth, the actual song.
That's why I'm confused.
No. I put Carl Sagan at the very end of the video. I'm talking about the last.
I didn't see it right from my own reaction.
You probably didn't see it either.
Are you serious?
You know, I like to put a lot of Easter eggs and stuff at the end of the credits and stuff. So I put. Would you like me to play it for you?
Please.
Okay, I'm gonna play you the Ludvigo one because it's the most emotional thing on the planet, and literally anyone who hears this right now should become a better person and make the world a better place. Everything you need in it is in this one video. Okay, let me load it up because I didn't know we were gonna do this. Okay, guys, listen. I don't mean to hijack this. This was really a PSA. And I'm going to Google this Mexican forest. It might, quite frankly, the brothers I was talking about, that documentary might have very well been just about that. So I'll definitely look into it, but I can't speak much about it other than the fact that I think it's beautiful that Nightwish has gotten so connected to this earth and is really trying to make a difference here. And we must definitely support something like this. And I think that this is not something new by an artist, but it never stops being important or relevant, because it's the people that have the mass audience and the mass attention that matter. So people like this, who people look up to and listen to, are the ones who can make a difference. All right, so I don't mean to hijack this, but I do want her to hear the greatest speech ever made, which apparently they started this video with, and I really want her to digest these lyrics. So I think the best person to hear it from is from Carl Sagan's mouth himself. And let's just do it. Thank you for indulging me. I appreciate it.
Which one, babe?
First video. I replaced it with the other one.
From this distant vantage point, the Earth might not seem of any particular interest. But for us, it's different. Consider again that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam. The Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors, so that in glory and triumph they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot.
Wow.
Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. Our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe, are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The Earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate. Visit? Yes. Settle? Not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand. It has been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known.
Wow.
That's just the Vigo you're feeling right there.
We're so tiny.
Yes. What do I say on this channel all the time? Perspective, right? Perspective, perspective, perspective. It's everything. I've never heard it articulated better than this. It's one of the greatest. This is what an alien should hear if they ever
Wow.
want to know anything about us.
Wow.
The Carl Sagan version is shorter than this. This version is superior because it includes everything, and the music just fits so perfectly with it. I'm going to post the YouTube channel to the guy who originally made it. You won't find this on his channel because they did take it down, because I think it was getting more views than the original speech.
Right.
But do you understand? How can you articulate what he just said any better than what he just did?
I don't know. I don't
He just
know.
helped you understand perspective. Every confident religion, every dictator, all were fighting over land, and all these little
all these
pieces
things.
failing to see just how grand and how, and I say this as all the time, that how special we are,
Yes.
and that in this vastness we even exist.
Yeah.
And if we could appreciate that, maybe we would just be a little bit better to ourselves and to our environment. I don't understand why it's so hard to understand.
Because most people don't care about that kind of stuff. They don't care about the now.
But that's right, small-minded thinking.
Yes.
But this makes it so easy to understand that I don't get why, even if you're a complete idiot, or if you're completely closed off to the grandness, or even if you're a flat earther, I don't think that makes anything that we just heard irrelevant.
Right. I
You know?
agree.
Of course, the whole concept of flat earth is like the epitome of small-minded thinking. That's literally the king of
They're
small-minded
there,
thinking.
yes.
I said I wasn't going to go back to it. I'm sorry.
They're there.
That just hits me so hard. Do you have a tissue? Because
The
if
last
ever I wanted to pause so I can blow. Why are you looking at me like
one.
that?
Because I have to pause when you blow, but you'll probably keep mine in.
At least I give you warning,
Oh,
so you're not talking while I'm blowing.
whatever.
That was a short 3-minute video that I've once again extended to a 30-minute video.
Yes, you did. You are amazing.
I was not expecting this.
You make a way out of no way.
I can't ignore my passions. This is
understand.
I had no idea this was gonna trigger a passion of mine. So I am once again trying to be thoughtful, making this short.
It's okay, baby.
But I'm hoping that anyone who's not interested in, because the thing is, like I said, you're not as interested in astronomy. Are you coming from the same place Whitney is when it comes to, like, she knows all the stuff, but it just kind of makes her angry and uncomfortable?
That doesn't make me angry or uncomfortable.
Just the vastness of space and
It's
all
a
that
lot
stuff,
for me to-
because
to
it bothers her a
actually-
little bit.
It doesn't bother me.
Not that
because-
she's ignorant to it or anything. It's just like it's just like mind blowing kind of, and it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, there's only
It's too much.
She can take it in small doses,
Yeah.
but I like live there, and she just kind of like she'll just
Because
pick
they
at it a
can
little
go and
bit.
talk about this for hours, and it won't end.
Anything you'd like to add?
No, listen. You said enough for both of us, and I agree with everything you said. I'm not that deep into astronomy, but I do respect it, and I do appreciate the knowledge that I obtained. Thank you for this. What's poppin'?
All right, 2 Marco beards in a single week. All right, Nightwish, you got to give us a break.
Right? All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video, and if you did, please give us a thumbs up, 2, if you can. Comment below, do not leave without subscribing, but also do share our content as well, because the world needs to know about us.
And as always,
As always. I'm joking. Keep it metal. Metal forever, baby. Bye for now.
love you guys.
V-G-E-R. Feature. Voyager. Voyager.
That's stupid.
I'm not very good at singing songs, but here's a try. If you wish to make an apple pie from scratch, you must first invent the universe. Space is filled with a network of wormholes. You might emerge somewhere else in space, somewhere else in time. The sky calls to us. If we do not destroy ourselves, we will one day venture to the stars. A still more glorious dawn awaits, not a sunrise, but a galaxy rose. A morning filled with 400 billion suns. The rising of the Milky Way. The cosmos is full beyond measure. Elegant truths of exquisite interrelationships of the awesome machinery of nature. I believe our future depends powerfully on how well we understand this cosmos, in which we float like a mote of dust in the morning sky. But the brain does much more than just recollect. It intercompares, synthesizes, analyzes.